For those of you from New York or know of New York, I left because of mostly the weather.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt LaMarsh with Keller Williams First Atlanta, and this is Selling Sandy Springs. What's up everybody, Matt LaMarsh here with Keller Williams First Atlanta and Selling Sandy Springs. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. Today we've got a very special guest in the studio, Ryan with Brennan Coaching. Correct. Awesome. Official, right? Like that's the name. That's the business.
That's the name. It's LLC and everything.
Awesome. Very good. So we're gonna dig into Ryan's story here a little more about what he does and kind of his background and how he got to where he is today. But first, I do need to mention and say, if you haven't subscribed and rated and reviewed the podcast yet, please make sure you do that. We're trying to spike this thing here locally in Sandy Springs and certainly in the metro Atlanta area. So please make sure you do that before you sign off today. But welcome, Ryan. Thanks so much for joining us and giving us the opportunity to sit down and chat today. Really appreciate your time and definitely want to find out more about you, what you do, who you are, and the whole thing. So start off with who you are and what you do.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
For sure.
This is great. I just chugged about a shot of caffeine, so bear with me if I'm cutting you off.
No, you're perfectly in line. I've only had like 4 cups today. So
okay. You're beating me. All right. So yeah, I'm a personal trainer here in Sandy Springs. I've been here for about 2 years. I came from Rochester, New York, upstate New York. And for those of you from New York or know of New York, I left because of mostly the weather.
What? It's not. My brother's in Manhattan, so I get it.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's beautiful there for 3 months out of the year.
Right. During the summer.
During the summer, yeah.
So take it back for us. Maybe high school, college days. Like, how did we get to this point, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. So I played sports growing up, but I really started into my career when I was about 17. I started lifting weights, doing bicep curls in the mirror, doing only bench press, just typical guy stuff. Yeah. Yep. And then one of my friends wanted to start training with me, so we became like workout buddies in the gym. And this was I was about a junior in high school, and I started really liking the feeling of getting stronger. I felt more confident. My mental health was better. And so in college, fast forward a little bit, I actually hurt my back deadlifting a lot of weight. And I was literally limping I looked like an old man after I injured it. And I was like, man, I should probably learn about technique.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I got a personal trainer and I had a physical therapist to rehab my back. And I was like, you can make money doing this?
Yeah.
And so I started training at my college. About sophomore year into my undergrad, which was in kinesiology, I just was I threw myself into the fire. I started personal training and getting paid for that, and it felt great, helping people, getting money. I was like, all right, I'm going to make this into a career.
Yeah, nice.
And I went on to be rookie trainer of the year at my school, and then fast forward 2 years later, about finishing up my undergrad, I was the trainer of the year.
Wow.
So I love what I did, and it showed with the value I brought.
Sure.
And then I went on to do 2 internships because I just love what I did. I wanted to further my education. So I did 2 unpaid internships for about a year. Didn't get paid a dime. I had to work, a second job during that. And I went to Boston, I went to New Jersey for these internships, and I learned a ton. And then I went back to graduate school for my master's in exercise science, and I was also the grad assistant. So I was essentially a personal training manager and an adjunct professor. So I was learning a lot about how to manage trainers, what they go through, and also training at the same time while getting a master's and doing a thesis. So I was able to get all angles. Wow. And I was I was working at 2 different gyms, one for employee wellness, one for athletes. So I really dove in and did a ton of stuff within a short amount of time to kind of figure out what I liked, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know what athletic training was. When I first got to college, I'm like, is this personal training? But it's totally not. That's when you're on the field and you help an injured athlete.
Got it.
But yeah, so that's kind of my timeline. And then when I graduated with my master's, I went on and I actually moved here. I took a road trip randomly, and I was like, I don't want to live in Rochester, New York, because the snow sucks and it's pretty depressing there. But I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I moved here and I started working at a facility for about a year as a contractor, and then I was able to really get the self-confidence and the business, the marketing and sales down to start getting my own clients, and that's when I started bringing people at my apartment complex and that business actually got so good that it was too big for the apartment complex, and people started noticing. And so I was super grateful for my situation, but now I'm at a point where I need to actually go to a gym and actually drive to work.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, that's a good problem to have. I mean, right, you got no point now where, how many clients are you currently serving?
Yeah, I have around 30 in person, and then about five or six online.
Nice,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
So there is an online component or presence to it. I mean, when I think about health and wellness, especially as it becomes, there are a lot of fads out there, right? But for what you're offering or what you're doing, a lot of it's in person, obviously, but
Yes.
there is some kind of online component to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And the online component's kind of cool. It's like a hybrid model. If someone's not in the area, let's say I had friends or family or clients in New York, I could either Skype or FaceTime video chat them through a workout, or I can really be more of a coach and help coach them through nutrition.
Nice.
And help them keep accountable.
Yeah.
And then for my clients here, if I go on vacation, or if they are super busy and maybe they can't make a certain day or a week, we can just kind of Skype it in, whether they're at a gym or at their house.
Sure.
And then I would just adjust accordingly on the other end of the phone or computer.
Gotcha. Cool. So what ultimately, I mean, was it the injury? What exactly pushed you to really want to pursue? Because like you said, you went head first. I mean, into all of it, right? So what do you think was the biggest proponent of pushing you into this?
Yeah, I really think it was the injury helped, because it was kind of eye-opening.
Sure.
But it was really, for me, the mental health of what training brought to me. And then looking at my nutrition and kind of like taking care of that, and then I really started feeling the benefits of taking care of myself, even at a young age like that. I think a lot of us can take that for granted, and luckily I had an injury which sucked, but at the same time it taught me a lot of lessons to take care of my body as soon as possible. And so when I started doing that with other people, and then seeing that they benefited from that, especially their mental health, because I really, people come to me now for weight loss, for the total transformation, because I help them with not just fitness but nutrition and stress management. That's really what kind of drew me in, was that taking that, like, kind of like that self-love and taking care of ourselves, making like our relationships better, our career and life just more enjoyable.
Sure. Perfect. So so let's talk a little bit about the program, about someone that's brand new to, maybe not necessarily personal training, but new to you. So maybe they've worked out in the past, maybe they had a membership at LA Fitness, maybe whatever has happened in the past, but they're going to get serious about it now. We got new goals coming up. 2020 is right around the corner for all of you that are very attached to that start date for some reason. January 1st is like 2 months and 6 days away. It's October 24th now. So, and thinking about the end of the year, obviously the holidays and eating and everything else that goes along with it. January 1st, I'm getting my life together. I'm calling Ryan. What does the program look like? How does someone get started? What is the format look like? What sort of time commitment do you have to make? Dig into the details a little more for what makes your program unique.
Absolutely, yeah. That's an amazing question. So early on, trainer Ryan would give a totally different answer than 10 years into it. Right now.
I get
Even
it.
though I'm only 28, I do have about 10 years of experience. And so especially when when it's the new year beginning, a lot of people, because of that time, it's almost like I feel like we're forced to make goals, which goals are great, and I definitely encourage it. But at the same time, people want to get results quick, and unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And so I hate to be telling potential clients that, because it's not an easy quote unquote sell,
Right.
Because no one wants to hear that, but it's the truth. And so it's the basic fundamentals consistently over time that helps, and I think that's what separates me. So when someone, I guess, is looking, like you were saying, to join a gym or to set some goals for the new year and really take care of their health, that it's to use that excitement and that momentum of that new year, but don't rely on like that as motivation.
Sure.
Like really get clear on what your goals are and why you're doing it, and make sure that your why is strong enough for your goals.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's true of all goals. I think the motivation really is the foundation for what you're trying to set yourself up for. And I've only been working out for maybe 10 years or so, but I think the thing that I didn't understand early on, and call it like the first 6 or 7 years, was it took me a while to gain weight. I didn't gain 10, 20 pounds in a year.
Yeah.
It took years for me to accumulate what I had accumulated.
Definitely.
But it also takes time to get it off and time to build new habits. And I think, one of the best kind of quotes I heard was, it takes time to develop bad habits just like it takes time to develop good habits. And one of those things, I think, is understanding the maintenance part of it. Because you're right, people want the quick and fast and easy results and want the quick and easy process to go along with it. And unfortunately, there is no real secret to that. I mean, outside of like liposuction or, there's just no quick and easy way to truly keep weight off outside of the constant effort. So walk us through a typical workout. What does a typical workout look like with you?
Absolutely. So I'm super excited that you asked that too, because I've really revamped how I run things.
Cool.
So when someone comes to me for the fitness training, for a personal training session, whether it's 30 minutes, 45, or an hour, just depending on where they're at, they're going to come in. We're going to go through mobility drills. So that's going to, it's going to flow from the floor. So maybe some bridges, some side-lying windmills, just to open up, their hips, their shoulders, all the joints. Then we're going to go into like some cat cows, bird dogs, a little bit of like yoga moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're standing and moving and being a little bit more dynamic. So we don't really just go straight into the strength training and, lifting a lot of weight and
Mm-hmm.
possibly injuring themselves. So we're taking care of the joints from, the neck to the ankle. Every joint in the body, that's usually like 3 to 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And then we're going to go into power and core activation. So we're going to kind of stimulate the nervous system, prepare them for the workout to come.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to go into, and by the way, we don't need to be an athlete to train power, especially if we're getting older. We actually lose power and coordination, as we know, in balance. So that's a big component of still the warm-up. And then we get into the strength component. And the strength component is so intricate. It's not just let's come in and do bench press and squat. It's, all right, let's go through all the rep ranges. So we're going to be lifting heavy, moderate, and light within a session. And we're going to be doing low reps of 3 to 5, moderate reps of 8 to 12, and then high reps of 15 to 20. Because through the research, and I did my thesis on this, that doing a variety of the whole rep ranges and also lifting heavy, light, and moderate is shown to be best for really anyone's goal. So we're going to get you strong, and we're going to work on your like muscular endurance and power and mobility. And then we'll finish off the session with a cool down of maybe some static stretching or some breathing drills to kind of take the person from high stimulation, maybe it's at night, to some breathing drills to get them right back down to chilling.
So Ryan, tell us if someone is looking to either start or continue their fitness journey, what does that look like for you? How do they need to reach out and touch base with you? And if they have a particular goal or motivation, what does the next steps look like?
Absolutely. So I always consult with potential clients before working with them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's complimentary. So they can reach out to me through my cell phone, through a direct message on Facebook, Instagram, or through my website, which I can definitely leave that at the end of this. And then when they do that, we'll schedule like a 60 to 90 minute consultation where we'll grab a cup of coffee and sit down and discuss where they're at, where they want to be, and then I can design that plan for how to get there. And then I'll also give them I'll assess them on their current movements and kind of where they're at with strength wise, power, and etc. But if they are a lot of people come to me for weight loss or muscle growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, then I'm not just looking at their fitness too. I'm also taking like a 3-day food log just to see where they're at with their nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
and giving them not anything complicated, but just like 1 or 2 big needle movers that they can see that, hey, this is probably not serving you, and let's try to stop that habit.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's also add this one habit that's super simple that you can do consistently over time.
Perfect. Very good. Awesome. Well, in closing, let's leave that information. So you mentioned the cell phone. Let's mention the email, your Facebook and Instagram, and I'll also include these in the show notes as well. So if you're listening to this, you can go down, click on those, and have access right away. So go ahead and leave that for us.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So my email is ryanbrennancoaching@gmail.com, and that's RyanBrennan coaching@gmail.com. So that's probably the best way to reach me.
Perfect.
And then my website is just is ryanbrennancoaching.com. Instagram is Ryan J. Brennan. So first name, J as in job, Brennan. And then my Facebook is Ryan Brennan. And you'll see a picture of me in a white shirt on the beach, which was pretty nice in Miami.
Nice. And you're super active on Instagram, I've seen.
Yes.
Over the last couple of days, Hugh and I met like a week ago, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's your Instagram again?
Yep, it's _ Ryan J. Brennan.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Perfect. Very good. Because you've always got some workouts and exercises and things that people that even aren't working with you yet can see, and tips and tricks there as well. So, which I think is awesome and very valuable. So, awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And again, folks, if you haven't yet subscribed, rated, or reviewed, please be sure to do that. It really means a lot to me. And if you have an idea for a show or for a guest that I should have on the podcast or on the video, please let me know. You can reach me at matt@mattlamarsh.com, 678-687-4397, or visit us on Instagram, Facebook at Selling Sandy Springs, on both of those, or if you want to follow me personally at LaMarsh, LaMarsh, on Instagram. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.